Hey guys, welcome to this week's weekly market update for the week of May 16th, 2016. My name is Ben Kay, the condo agent, and today we're going to talk about two topics as we always do. Number one is feedback based on something that I've heard from clients in the last week in the marketplace. So always picking a hot topic to discuss. And then we'll also look at the numbers which are in for the last week, looking at what's happened in terms of activity in our local real estate market concerning condominiums. Now you can notice I'm in a bit of a different surrounding today. I'm not at my office where I'm usually filming these videos. I'm just running around in between videos, in between meetings rather, and I'm determined to get this video out to you. So I'm filming it right from home very quickly. So to jump right into this topic I want to talk about, in the last week I had a client mention something to me. He used very passionate language. He was very frustrated and a bit upset when he said this. And he said, Ben, what is happening out there and what's going to happen? Now, what he was speaking about was the rapid increase in pricing, what we're calling runaway, skyrocketing real estate pricing, and also concerning what that's doing to the culture of our city. We keep hearing this term in all these articles out there saying Vancouver is losing its soul. And it's no secret that as properties increase in value, that's going to have an effect on who can afford to buy those properties and stay in the heart of the city, as well as who can rent those properties, because rental rates are tied to how much properties cost in the first place. Now, that's of course very upsetting to any of us that live in the city, because it's a scary thought to think that those of us that make up the communities here may no longer be able to afford living in them down the road. What we're seeing is a phenomenon where boomers who bought their properties in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, at times when the cost of real estate was relative to incomes, are now reaping the rewards of their investments. They have every right to do so. They invested at a time that made sense for them, and now they're selling. They're at that point in their life. The market has increased rapidly since then, and they're getting a tremendous amount of money. Now, who are they selling to? They're selling to locals, but they're also selling to, in part, foreign investors that have come into Vancouver because, of course, we're a beautiful place to live. We're a very stable environment. It's a very attractive city. But these foreign investors are being let in because of policies that boomer generations politicians have put in place. Meanwhile, millennials, those trying to get into the market for the first time, as well as those in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, are having an increasingly difficult time getting into the market or staying in the market based on the cost of real estate relative to incomes that are earned here in our city. So it's starting to get a bit obvious that there is a growing divide between the haves and the have-nots. Now, unfortunately for boomers, it's great if the value of your property has increased rapidly since you purchased. That is a wonderful investment. The downside is, though, what's going to happen if your friends and family and those that make up your community can no longer sustain living in your community. So the solution that I see to this is that all of us, those of us that own property, those of us that don't own property yet, we have to start change. And how we do that is by letting our government and our policymakers know how we feel. That's where the biggest change can happen, is by initiating new policies that are conducive to growing affordability, not just putting limitations on the type of individual or the type of requirements that need to be in place for someone to purchase property, but also the type of housing that our city the developers in our city gets to build. Perhaps we need more density. We need a diversity of housing, not just condos, not just townhomes, but maybe more row homes, more laneway homes. We can get very creative here. We need more rental housing. That's just the nature of a growing city. And so all of us, what we can do is we can let our government know how we feel by contacting our member of parliament. So I'll have a couple suggestions as to how to do that. First, of course, is knowing who your MP is for your riding. You want to make sure you're connecting with the right MP. If you don't know who your MP is, I'll post a link right below this video where you can actually search via your postal code who the appropriate MP is for your riding currently in place. Now, contact them by writing them a letter. When you're sending a letter to your MP's office, it goes through the MP staffers first, the gatekeepers. So make sure you're going to put some effort into your letter. I'm sure MP offices get a lot of very passionately written letters letting the MP know how their constituent feels. But make sure your letter is professional, well crafted, identifies how the market is affecting you currently, identifies what you think will be a proper solution, or some of the ideas that you perhaps have in curbing the types of increase that we see in creating more affordability. Get a couple friends together, suggest that they write as well, and then if they're all in the same riding as you are, perhaps in your letter, suggest a follow-up meeting with your MP. That would create some accountability as well for the MP to perhaps reply to you and perhaps create a course of action. So get together and collaborate with some of your friends and suggest a follow-up meeting with your MP. And then finally, make sure you just take the action and you send it. We can't just demand change. We actually have to do something about it. We cannot rely on somebody else creating a solution to the issues that we all are a part feel a part of. So that's my suggestion: is get in touch with the government that makes the policies that do have an effect on our market. If you need help putting a letter together, message me. I'm happy to put together a template if enough people need help with it, and then I'm happy to send it over to you. Now, looking at the market in the last week, again, the numbers are in. So very quickly, these numbers are for the west side of Vancouver. If you're interested, numbers for other areas such as Richmond, East Vancouver, Burnaby, North Shore, just send me a message. I'll get those individual numbers out to you. But on the west side, we've seen 349 listings come on the market for condominiums since May 1st. Of those, 265 listings have sold, which represents a 51% inventory decrease year to year. $851,609 is the average price of a condominium, and that represents a 28% increase year to year in values. So if you are looking to sell, this would be an excellent time to consider doing so, because as far as what we can see from the data, we're at the absolute peak of the Vancouver real estate market. Now, all indicators show that the prices will continue to increase as they have, but we never know exactly what will happen. So if you're in a position that you'd like to perhaps take advantage of the market and sell, and perhaps you're downsizing or you're moving further away, you can pull some equity out of the market, this would be an excellent time to consider doing so. And certainly me and my team have very specific marketing plans in place in every single market that changes every single week to leverage the market and get top dollar for you. So if you'd like to know the value of your home or you're thinking of selling, do contact us. Now, if you're looking to purchase property, please don't be discouraged by everything that we're seeing out in the market and some of the topics that even we're discussing in these videos. There's still opportunity out there. The best way, of course, is to educate yourself fully about all of your options and what the process of purchasing is like and what's involved. And I'd be more than happy to grab coffee with you and educate you about all of the options and how you can best prepare towards a purchase in a condominium. So you guys can always reach me by calling, texting, or emailing me. My contact information is right below this video. And in the meantime, I'll wish you guys a wonderful week ahead. Thanks so much for tuning in.